Hi, everybody. Hopefully that set up well. Gonna just get my bearings here for a minute. A little bit of a warm day. Figured I got about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more or less. Go ahead and try to make a movie review of one of my favorite movies. And it's 26 years old now. The movie is 26 years old, older than some people, of course. As I continue to watch FX1 and FX2, basically around the clock. Because as I said in my previous video, I feel like that's what the movies were made for. They're just really good action thrillers, not too serious, kind of conspiracy oriented. But that's from the other video. What we're talking about here is Cliffhanger, and this is one of the movies that, of course, Stallone made with Columbia TriStar. I tend to like those ones. Also, I like his Canon picture that he made over the top quite a lot. Um, I really can't wait to recheck this movie out. I don't know why I don't put it on more often. Getting the DVD is a little bit of an experience. I think I ordered it once and then it didn't arrive, and then I got this one. But I believe I saw it at the Upland 8 Edwards Cinema. Uh, you know, right next to the pool hall and the arcade. Um, and it was filmed actually in the Dolomite Mountains mainly. Some parts in other mountain ranges as well, but filmed to look like the Rocky Mountains. And this is around the time where a lot of movies, Die Hard to come out, I believe in 1988, and it was such a huge hit. It was, let's figure out a place to have to recreate, that someone's taking a bunch of people hostage or is getting money, needing money, and in those circumstances, we go from there to be, a bunch of indoors movies such as Under Siege, and then later in this film, Sudden Death, which I've mentioned, which is a hockey arena siege film. And all sorts of pictures from that era. I find this to be Rennie Harlin's best movie by quite a big measure, even though I do enjoy his other films quite a lot. I think it would be very hard for someone to say, it's not a excellent movie or a really well done action thriller. The trailer is extremely memorable. Parts of the score, or maybe even music, just made for the trailer as he's doing all the action stunts in the movie. Whatever someone thinks about Sylvester Stallone, they really got to give him credit for the physicality of these stunts and the things that he does. Not only in this movie, but many of his other movies. It really is quite impressive to put yourself on the line as far as he does in this film, obviously, and in others. All the rope work, the line work, the technical achievements of scaling mountains and everything. It's really quite attention getting, and deserves your attention. I think that Michael Rooker does a very good performance in it as well. You see some of the other casts. Leon, one of my favorite actors from the era. I don't see Leon in too many other movies, just the one name Leon. And he was in Cool Runnings, which is the complete opposite of this. His character is both quiet, solemn type characters, though. John Lithgow, extremely memorable as the villain. Um, I don't know the lady's name that plays John Lithgow's love interest or like co-conspirator, but I'm sure you can see her photo here. They do a pretty good job. Just as I was thinking about that scene, they show that scene right there. Um, that scene is really awesome, and no one ever really talks up how that scene is. Jamie Bernard was a big news movie critic at the time, and her quote is "an avalanche of thrills." That's a pretty vague description. So this indeed is the collector's series of Cliffhanger. Kind of hard to believe they've never talked about rebooting this that I know of, or making a sequel or anything like that. I'd love to see like them have like bring like how Rocky has Creed, make a new Cliffhanger generation where Janine Turner and Sylvester Stallone now have a son, and their son's gonna rescue them, or they gotta rescue their son. That'd be pretty awesome. Cliffhanger 2, the new experience or the new mountain. I mean, with Backdraft 2 happening, literally anything's possible. And never really, I mean, I always would like to see that happen. I want to see the practicality of something like that, but with all these streaming services and on-demand stuff, I don't know. I really have no idea what. It must be a rights issue. Maybe Cliffhanger is outright owned by Carolco and they just distributed it or something like that. Because in any other circumstance, I think that movie would already be getting that green light. Michael France comes up with the screen story and he works on the screenplay with Sylvester Stallone. I find that to be a strength of the movie is the screenplay. Paul Winfield in the movie, but honestly not as memorable as Ralph Waite, one of his more famous roles, later roles at least. A really well produced movie, Tony Manafo, Jim Davidson, really good look to everything in the film, all the proceedings. Trevor Jones, a great musical score, very underrated. Alan Marshall and Rennie Harlan actually did some of the production work as well. What can I say? This is a pretty good special edition. I wish there was maybe a little bit more information on some other movies going forward. There's some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes, I guess. Um, I'm pretty sure some of the special features have Sylvester Stallone sitting in like a Demolition Man costume because obviously that was his second movie of the year that year, Demolition Man. Um, there's production notes, talent files, theatrical trailers. They show how the special effects were done. I find it fascinating when they have those long scale matte paintings and then they recreate how the mountain looks and shot from afar. It really looks like he's going up the mountain where really it's recreations or scale miniatures, I guess you would say. Um, the dog in the movie, I just love that dog. It's Rennie Harlan's dog actually at the time. So I'm getting to know him through the years. He's quite a character, and really proud of Rennie Harlan in his career. Obviously, he's had some tremendous highs and some lows in there, obviously. But I'll take his highs. I mean, it's like it or hate it. Die Hard 2 is still good. Ford Fairlane, Cliffhanger, Long Kiss Goodnight. Man, can do no wrong in my book. I really enjoy the work of Rennie Harlan. John Lithgow, probably one of the best performances of his career, probably one of the best villain performances of all time. Really did a lot of villain work, actually. I'm sure he'll do some more villain work coming up, but his villain work in this film, and technically Raising Cain, or I guess he's the protagonist and he's everything in that film. And then Ricochet, which also came out around that era. Actually, that was in November of '91, so a little bit before these ones. So that got the ball rolling for him playing that kind of character. So a woman dies at the beginning of this movie. Michael Rooker was engaged with her, whatever. He holds it against Gabe's character, which is Gabe, Sylvester Stallone's character, Gabe. So there's a rescue mission that happens, years later or whatever. Stallone's kind of out of the game. Janine Turner tries to go talk him up to get him to rejoin the game. And there's some big emergency, and the emergency is all a ruse because the terrorists that are there's a guy named Travers, character actor named Travers, who's in the film, and Travers is actually like a double, dealing dirty and making a secret deal with John Lithgow. So the whole thing's set up for the you know, basically the rescue people to be taken hostage and other people to be taken hostage at the behest of trying to get all this money that fell out of the plane. Um, they have to basically make sure they can locate the money that fell out of the plane because as their whole plot was going forward with Travers, you know, as their inside man, things didn't go right on the airplane, so the money falls to Earth, the Dolomite slash Rocky Mountains, and must be traversed in order to find that cash. So I mean, it's a really as I'm describing it, it's like yeah, I mean, technically seen something like this before, but have you ever seen it really with the scale and the absolute thrill of mountain climbing and the outdoors mixed in? It's a really kind of brutal combination and bitter cold, dizzying heights, uh, outwitting Quaylen in a yes, a Gabe Walker must outwit Quaylen in a dangerous, deadly game of hide and seek. I wouldn't necessarily describe it called hide and seek. I would say they're trying to rescue all the people and pull them out while the other guys are trying to kill them. That's a bad description there, hide and seek, but I guess I get where they're going with it. Yeah, I mean Eric Quaylen, really terrific performance by John Lithgow. Some of the other bad guys I thought were like really good in it. There's one guy that actually they used his face to go down the mountain, pop, 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 and then it got the face and it just right down the mountain like a snowboard. So that guy, he's a pretty brutal guy. I think I like the little stoner guys, kind of like these guys look like they're fresh out of Bill and Ted or something. They seem to want to, go snowboarding with Gabe Walker, and they're driving on the road, and then and they're just two wild and crazy guys, and they get killed. I believe one of them gets killed by the guy that's having his face used as a snowboard. That villain. I think that villain does an effective job. I think Leon does an effective job. Like I said, I think John Lithgow's the girlfriend, whoever plays her, I'm not gonna spoil what happens or anything, but she's got a pretty interesting outcome and scene and everything from that. I found the audio commentary to be just awesome. There's a Stallone commentary, and then also there's a technical commentary made by the editor, and the editor seems to have an axe to grind. See his name. Editor seems to have an axe to grind, if I had to say. Judging by what he's saying and not saying, I'd say he has an axe to grind. Don't see his name listed even in the credits. I wonder if it's one of those things that he said I wanted to have my name removed. But anyway, I don't even know because it's clearly his commentary is on there. And I think there might have been some friction going on between Stallone, Michael France, who was one of the writers, Rennie Harlan, some of the producers, and this individual, this editor. Because just grasping for what he says on there and all that. I really like the commentary quite a lot. Really like it quite a lot. So I highly recommend it. I haven't mentioned Janine Turner's performance, but since I'm friends with her, it's probably not best I review her performance all that much. But I do think it's a shame she wasn't in more movies. She's a good friend of mine and stuff like that, so I don't really want to advocate too much for her. Let me just get up and put this DVD back real quick. But yeah, I've been trying to get Janine to, because I've been on her show a lot, to go ahead and be on my show, and we'll see. Hopefully, so I've been on her radio show quite a lot. I hope that I can get her on here. So I might go ahead and send this to her. I mean, just if anyone's seen Cliffhanger, go ahead and let me in the comments and let me know if you like it. Where would you place it in terms of the other Stallone movies? I think I like Stallone outdoors. I really like First Blood quite a lot, and though the other Rambo movies are outdoors, they're less of woodsy, I guess. I like him in the woodsy outdoors, the forest, the mountains, that type of stuff. Um, I'm really a big fan of his 1993. I mean, wasn't a huge fan of Demolition Man when the first couple times I've seen it. It's grown on me. It's awesome. So I think two of his movies I really like quite a lot. Like both a lot more than Tango and Cash. I think Tango and Cash I put on the low end. I like Cobra, Over the Top. I mean, there's very few stolen movies I just don't like, except some of the more obvious ones. And I've seen some of his recent ones, but not all of them. So I look forward to talking and seeing more of those. But this is peak Stallone. I saw this movie. I was pretty young, and I definitely enjoyed it in theater. Remember all the different moments. Leon's big scene with the icicles and everything. I won't reveal too many of the kills or anything like that. I want everyone to kind of experience it for yourself. If you've never seen Cliffhanger, go ahead and find a way to watch it as soon as possible and check it out. And appreciate Rennie Harlan, one of the greatest directors there is.